Rudi? Rudi? Where are you lost?
I was lost in the moon
How?
because at sunset the moon energy starts coming up.
Right.
And I was thinking about number 2.
Ah, that brings me to number 2.
It's number 2.
I want to know what number 2 holds for, especially with our health.
It means it is flowing. No, the character of a number 2 person is not fixed. Moving, flowing, can take many different shapes, can change your direction from one moment to the other. So they are quite changeable and moody.
So how does one's health get affected, specifically with the number 2?
Like the moon, which is always changing from full moon to new moon and back, gets a different shape, gets a different intensity. The same way the energy of the moon is changing, and the body of the moon is not very strong. A moon person is not very strong. It's ruled by the water element.
Okay.
So sometimes a moon person will have too much of moisture, then they will have very loose motion, especially when they are nervous. And sometimes they will have constipation, dryness of the intestines.
Okay.
So for moon-dominated people, it's very important to find a way to balance.
Sorry, I bring you back to again to the understanding. Are we talking about number 2, the psychic number, name number, or birth number?
The psychic number has most influence on the health and on the body structure.
Okay, so we have a number 2, we have a number 20, and we have, I think, a 29. So all of these are number 2.
11.
And 11, sorry. So which one of these numbers, I mean, because obviously 2 is a single 2, 11 is a combination of 1 and 1. So do they all go through the same effect of the moon, or is it different for each number 2?
They have a similarity,
Okay.
which is number 2.
Okay.
So they have all the characteristics of number 2.
Yes.
But a number 11 is 2 ones. It's 1 and 1.
Correct. That's sun and sun.
And
right?
1 is sun.
Right.
So you put 2 suns together and you get moon.
So it's like
It's double heat, and so there is a contradiction
yes.
inside, which will work in the inside of the person.
Oh, so the energy's inside.
Yeah,
Okay.
they say in Hindi, I think, ek do ek gyara, 1 and 1 is crazy. So they can suddenly change,
Okay.
going from a male energy to a female energy and back. That's why number 11 in some cultures is considered bad luck.
Oh.
On the other hand, it gives them a lot of force, a lot of power. So in relationship, in marriage, and so they are very good. They're very helpful.
Okay.
And they are very intuitive to a point where it can disturb them. By having dreams, number 2, have very, very vivid dreams. They can predict things in their dreams. They can dream about things which still have to come.
Oh.
And very accurate. Number 2 persons should avoid certain things, like they are very vulnerable to infections.
Okay.
Their immune system is not very strong.
Is that based on seasons, or is it just because of that number?
Because of the number, because of the water dominance,
Okay.
their watery parts, like lungs, need a lot of waters to function, the kidneys,
Right.
the procreative organs,
Okay.
and the hormonal system.
Right.
All these can easily get disbalanced
Okay.
in number 2 people.
Right.
Food-wise, they need things which strengthen the immune system.
Okay.
Onions, garlic are very good for them.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, and they have a love of salty taste, and that is also good for them. But they should balance it out. If they take too much of it, they will get problems with the blood pressure. So they should be moderate.
Do the phases of the moon affect the number twos more as opposed to,
Other numbers?
Other numbers?
Yes,
They do.
it does.
So we do see a significant change in their maybe health or attitude.
That's why I say in periods of full moon, it's not good for them to make important decisions at that time because their logic will be disturbed. They will be more sentimental. And also the days when there is less moon, when moon and sun rise at the same time. Those periods are not so good for number two for making important decisions. During full moon, number two people will be more alive. They will be more funny, more engaged than other people.
So do you feel now if a healthy two person will be able to sustain those phases of the moon far more in a balanced fashion, and a person who's not in touch with the health side of things will get more disturbed by the phases of the moon. So you see more of those attributes come to life, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So
that's why it is very important for number two people to know the phase of the moon, to know where the moon is.
Right.
For that, there is a technique called Swar Yoga, in which you regulate your brain function with the cycles of moon and sun.
So how do you do that?
At sunrise, after new moon, you will need the energy of the moon. And breathing through the left nostril will enhance the energy of the moon. So it's good to breathe at sunrise through your left nostril after new moon for 3 days. And then it changes to the right nostril. But this only goes from sunrise to 1 hour after. If you can observe your breath at that time and if necessary change it, then number two people can be very much in balance.
Okay, so are there any sort of kind of food habits one should sort of attain to sort of sustain a balanced mind?
They should avoid eating too much because they can have a tendency to eat more than they really need. And then the body, which is already mucus dominated, will become kind of soggy.
Which body part is governed by moon?
Moon has a strong connection with the soft organs, like the hormonal system. The regulation of the mood goes by hormones. The fluids in the body, the blood, that's the one very important part. And it follows the body. With full moon, the energy will be in the head. With new moon, it's in the big toe. And during the whole cycle, it goes up and down and up and down. And number two is very sensitive to that.
So are there any sort of stones one should wear to sort of balance these energies?
Number two loves to wear pearls.
Loves to wear pearls?
Yes, generally, well, should also. But most of them, they like the shine of the pearl. And the pearl comes from the sea, from water. So it's a very good help for them.
How does it help?
It helps in exchanging minerals with the body. Eating pearls powder is very good to help their electrochemical balance. Further, moonstone is very good, especially it should be encabochon. When it is round shaped, then you see a line in it, like in a cat's eye. This shining of that light is exactly like the moon. And those stones can also reflect the mood of number two. When they feel good, they can see it on the stone. It will be more shiny.
So what is the diseases that number two could get?
The diseases that number two can attract are especially connected to the immune system. they are very easily influenced.
Okay.
And people who have a flu, if they come near that person, they can easily pick it up.
Okay.
If somebody with a headache comes near them, they can feel a headache. And then they don't know where the headache comes from. As long as that person is near,
Right.
they will feel that headache. When the person is gone, headache is gone.
So I have a question related to someone who is a number 2. So this person gets like these big fat, I don't know if but it's accumulation of a lot of
Moisture.
Moisture. But it fills up and then it becomes pussy and then it bursts, but it's really painful.
Boils, yeah.
Yeah, and it generally happens, I think, I don't know if he's looked at this when it happens, but it happens around the underarm areas, around the private parts where the sweat glands are. They're extremely painful. And he's a number 2, psychic number and birth number, destiny number. So is that the reason why this is happening? And he's always got a flu, he's always got a cold. So is that because he's...
Those boils are an infection.
Okay.
And the infection comes
Yes.
at period where the body needs something to get toxins out of the body.
Right.
So when this infection comes, mostly it's a bacteria.
Right.
It's a bacteria which is always on the body, Staphylococcus.
Right.
And the number 2 immune system will fight it but cannot kill it.
So should one do anything to take precautionary measures?
Fasting.
Fasting.
Fasting and using cleansing food,
Such as?
such as eating enough haldi.
And,
Haldi is a way to enhance the liver
right.
to get rid of toxins through the bile and back into the intestines and out of the body.
Rudi,
Milk. Yeah.
what's milk in general? What is?
Milk is very good food, especially if it comes from organic farms. If the cows have been treated in a respectful way. You know, the normal commercial farms will let a cow be pregnant to give milk, and then as soon as the baby is born, as soon as the calf is born, they take away the calf, which leaves the mother with a hormonal problem. She will suffer, like any mother,
That's interesting that you say
because
that.
her body is built to produce milk for the baby. And it gets stimulated to do that when she sees and smells and hears the baby. When that is not done anymore, there will be a production of milk, and then they start taking it out, so mother will make more milk. In Europe, in Holland, where I come from, they have cows, man, they produce 90 liters of milk every day. Every day. So that type of milk will not be so good for number 2 people. It will create lots of mucus in their system, and it will disturb their hormonal system because it's full of hormones which should not be there for humans.
Can I add to that? It's just not for number 2. I think that kind of milk wouldn't be healthy for any number.
Yeah, but especially number 2 will be sensitive to it because it will influence her, especially if it's a woman, it will influence her hormonal system. She will feel lonely and disturbed after that, without knowing where it comes from.
Wow, that's a great insight.
Yeah, the sensitivity is there,
Yes.
and whether it comes from a cow or a goat or a sheep or another person, it will influence them.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.